Hello, Namaskar, and a very warm welcome to today's edition of Elet's Knowledge Series. Today's edition of Elet's Knowledge Series on the topic of urban development is being organized by Elet's Technomedia in collaboration with WhatsApp India and our industry partner, InfoBip. For the past 20 years, Elet's has been at the forefront of creating a knowledge-based society by organizing various conferences, by publishing different magazines on 4 different verticals. These 4 verticals are on health, governance, education, and banking. And the common thread binding all these 4 sectors and sectoral magazines is the promotion of usage of ICT, how ICT can be used to increase our governance as well as increase our banking or ease of banking or health services or create a far impact in the education space. So continuing this legacy, today it's a pleasure for all of us to assemble here. We are joined by some esteemed panelists from the breadth and length of the country from the urban and smart city space. The topic of today's conference is transforming citizen experience in urban utilities space, a very relevant topic in today's context. India is one of the fastest growing global economies, major economies throughout the world. By 2030, almost 70% of the jobs will be created in the urban sphere, and 50% of India's population will be housed in the urban habitats. So this fast-paced growth of the urban habitats is creating some real impact and real stress on the civic administration, urban administration. The need of the hour is to keep pace with this fast-growing demand on the urban ecospace and how our policymakers can leverage the new and emerging technologies to answer today's pressing urban problems. To answer how we can do this and what are the current trends, what are the current innovations, and what is the future from here, what is the roadmap from here. I am privileged and honored to have here some of the policymakers from urban administration and municipal space of the country. So for the next 1.5 hours, we'll be having a series of presentations and interactive panel discussion. We're going to start first with a technology presentation by our industry partner, WhatsApp India. This presentation will be given by strategic partner manager of WhatsApp, Mr. Tushar Bhalla. Thereafter, we'll be having a short presentation by Shraddha Thapa, regional head, government and OTT partnership from InfoBip. These 2 presentations will be followed by an interactive panel discussion between the policymakers from the urban space. We will be joined very shortly in due course of time by maximum 4:15. I've been informed. We'll be joined by the Commissioner and Director of Municipal Administration in Government of Telangana, Dr. N. Satyanarayan. We have already been joined by Dr. Sanjay Polte, CEO of Pune Smart City Limited. A very warm welcome, Dr. Sanjay Polte, Shraddha and Tushar. A warm welcome to Dr. Dhiman Kumar Vyas as well. Dr. Dhiman Kumar Vyas is Regional Commissioner of Municipalities, Rajkot Zone in Government of Gujarat. We have then with us Samir Unhale, if he's there on the screen. Samir Unhale, very warm welcome, a regular speaker in the conference circuit, State Joint Commissioner, Municipal Administration, Government of Maharashtra. I have been joined here by Charmi Parikh, Chief Executive Officer of Silvassa Smart City Limited. And the industry reps I have already introduced, Tushar Bhalla and Shraddha Thapa. So to begin with, I invite Tushar Bhalla, Strategic Partner Manager in InfoBip India, to have his presentation. A small introduction about Tushar. Tushar is currently working as Strategic Partner Manager in WhatsApp. Tushar is a keen planner and strategist with a proven track record of consistently increasing the sales and profitability of WhatsApp India. And he's well versed in all aspects of technology. Over to you, Tushar Bhalla.
Thank you, Krishnaji, for a warm welcome. Welcome, everyone. This is a great discussion that we've set it up, and thanks to Elets and the InfoBip team for organizing this. I think this is a need of the hour, given the sort of the shock to the system that we've seen the last 2 years, given the pandemic and how citizens and government interact. So just as an introduction, I'm Tushar Bhalla. I lead the government vertical for WhatsApp, and I deal with the central agencies, state, municipalities. I essentially onboard customers from the government vertical onto the platform, have them leverage the platform, make them understand the power of WhatsApp, and so on a high level, how we can serve the citizen in general. So the topic of the discussion today is transforming citizens' experience through digital technology. Digital platforms, digital technology, a term used very interchangeably and very loosely used these days. But the at the end of the day, I think end justifies the mean. And from a perspective of transforming a citizen's journey to reach the last mile benefits that the government provide is something that is of prime importance right now, and we've seen this in the last 2 years. I want to share with you, next slide. I want to share with you some numbers. Just from a WhatsApp perspective, and what we bring to the table is the reach, engagement, and connections. We have a 2 billion active monthly users in 180 countries, and we send about 100 million messages a day. We have an engagement rate of 70% of WhatsApp users who check their messages daily, from good morning to good night. We have clearly passed the toothbrush test. From a connection perspective, we have about 175 million people message a WhatsApp business account every day. So slowly and gradually, customers, people have started to leverage the platform to connect with the business, um, you know, experience the ease of use and how easy it is to actually interact with a business and carry forward. Next slide, please. I want to share some numbers with you again. This was an independent study that we did. So 61% choose messaging a business over picking up a phone. I think gone are the times where people have the time to pick up a phone, spend about 10 minutes on an IVR, clicking multiple numbers, and then reach a human voice who would say, I don't have the answer. I think the business has transformed at a speed which essentially businesses need to catch up on. Um, 75% of the adult want to message with businesses the same way they do with friends and family, right? The premise is, why can't we have the same sort of conversation that we have with our, let's say, our loved ones, then also in the same way with a business, right? It should be as simple as that. 59% choose messaging over emails. I have personally seen this transition happening over the past 10 years. I was with Google in my previous capacity selling emails, and Google Workspace, for instance. So I have seen how people have moved away from emails, for a lack of a better word, to actually messaging platforms and how they are transforming that. Want to share another number? It's about 57% say messaging with a business feels more personal than actually calling, right? So these are some of the trends that I wanted to share with you to figure where are we in terms of the overall ecosystems of how business are transforming, how they do business, and how customers are demanding and citizens are demanding the sort of essential benefits they can derive out of technology, right? Next slide, please. My next few slides will essentially be giving you real-time examples of what we have been doing in India. I want to give you the actual taste of what we can bring to the table as far as municipalities are concerned, whether it's state governments or whether it's central agencies, and how they can leverage the platform to define how they present government to citizen services, right? So the slide, very simple, we're solving for it for India. India is a big country, very complex country. We have a lot of challenges, and the last mile deliveries of these services are essential, to be solved. So it's a puzzle, right? So my next slide, um, shows you that puzzle as to how we are solving that puzzle for India. Um, some of the things that we can do in India right now for solving the puzzle for India is, you can pay electricity bills using WhatsApp. You can get updates on property tax. You can pay water bills through WhatsApp. If you have a query that needs to be answered real time, you can do that. You're a student and you use a bus regularly, you can recharge your bus pass through it. If you're a tourist and you want to check the bus schedule, you can do that. So next slide, please. So currently we have a lot of electricity boards that already leverage the power of WhatsApp to deliver electricity bills and water bills and property tax bills to the citizens. All they have to do is just click on that button like a pay now, and they will be essentially deflected to a payment platform and they can pay their bill. It's as simple as that. Your phone numbers are attached to your main account, and it makes it very simple now to actually pay all these utility bills through that. You can also send important notifications. For example, if there is an electricity cutout, which is anticipated, you can send those messages as well. If you have a population which needs, real time, answers on, let's say, a crop price, you can primarily do that through the platform. You can have students leverage the power of having their bus passes renewed, or you can buy tickets through the platform itself. So if you were to buy a ticket from Kolaba to Lower Perel, you can do that on the platform, right? And we're working on solutions like that. If you're a tourist who just arrived in the country and you want to see which bus schedules or train schedules make you reach from point A to B, you can share that with the audience, with the citizens. I want to highlight one of the examples of BMC, which is one of the most comprehensive bots we have created, one of the most comprehensive bots for a municipality on the planet, by the way. It has about 85 plus services, caters to three target audiences. It caters to tourists, it caters to businesses, and it caters to citizens, right? So if you are a citizen who wants to, file a redressal, you want to file a grievance, you can do that. You want to check on important updates, you can do that as a citizens. If you're a tourist, you don't know the city well, you want to see what are the amenities at near me where you're standing, or you want to see where's the nearest toilet, right? You can do that from the platform. All you need to do is share your location and it'll tell you, what's the closest toilet that you can use to relieve yourself. And then the last track is on the business front, right? If you are a business and you want to apply for a permit, you can do that over the platform, and essentially have your queries answered. Next slide, please. Okay, similar to what I was talking about, so you can report public places that don't follow COVID appropriate behavior. Last 2 years, we've seen how people leave the guard down and how we can, primarily reinforce the message of COVID appropriate behavior, and protocols. So you can do that. You can access your land records, hassle free. You can apply to colleges. You can apply for even a marriage certificate, right? So next slide will give you a broader idea of what we can bring to the table. Yeah. So, so accessing your land records, for instance, is as easy as just pushing a message of Pata book. I'll take another parallel. We work with an account called MyGov, which is a central agency under the MIghty framework. MyGov now gives you Common services, and yesterday we launched the DigiLocker services, right? So on the Coven services, you can download the Coven certificates by just typing download certificate on that bot and you'll get it, right? So it's as simple as that, all powered through the Coven API, right? Or if you want to book an appointment on the platform, you can go ahead and choose a slot and book an appointment for yourself. Not only that, it now, just yesterday, we launched that all DigiLocker services will be available on WhatsApp itself. So you can go ahead, authenticate yourself on DigiLocker. I would highly recommend you try it out. The number is 9013151515. You can try and download your certificates. You can download your PAN cards. You can download your driving license. You can even download your insurance policy, all powered through DigiLocker, right? So I want you to think of this as a platform rather than just an app. So WhatsApp is a platform, right? And you can do much, much more than what it meets the eye. I always take this example in my customer meetings, is that when you go to any website, you have about 150 to 200 components on that website. But let's say for a citizen, only 3 or 4 entities or 3 or 4 components would be important. WhatsApp makes you leverage those 4 components and give that ease of use to the citizen, right? So some of the things that we have unblocked for with let's say a BMC or a Delhi Jal board with InfoWhip is essentially on the same lines as we've solved for that ease of use. We've solved for essentially making these services reach them at a lightning speed. And at the end of the day, make it very, very convenient to have the citizen reach um, the end audience, right? So citizens reach the government, right? So when I say solving for India, it is essentially we're a country with various different sort of complex problems to solve, and some of these technologies can actually help them, right? Happy to engage on a personal front to any questions that you may have after this presentation in the coming weeks. Over to Shraddha to take this forward. Shraddha, thank you for having me, and over to you. Thank you, Krishnaji.
Thank you so much, Tushar. That was really insightful, and all these cases that we are, use cases that we're talking about touches our everyday life. When we have to access our PAN card, make that complaint, and makes life so much easier. Something we had not thought of. Maybe it was there around us 2 years back, but during the pandemic, we all realized that how important it is to we can survive without going to the office and still get our work done. So really insightful. Thank you so much. I'll move on to the next bit. Next slide, please. Okay, I think I'll cover up for a few more slides. These are all use cases that we can take care of through WhatsApp. It could be notifications, like for example, if you see a pothole through the BMC chatbot, we can actually click a picture of that pothole and report to BMC. They have a timeline. I will not claim it here, but they have a timeline for I think between 24 to 48 hours that they will not only resolve this, click a picture of the resolved the pothole not being there, the same spot, and send it back to you. So that's the kind of commitment and engagement we have seen from BMC in this regard, and I've seen many other municipal corporations also engaging with customers on WhatsApp. So that's what gives us confidence to explore more in terms of use cases and think about the unthinkable. Can we move to next slide? So coming to InfoWhip, we are one of the providers of WhatsApp business APIs, and closely engage with the WhatsApp team here. So we work closely with Tushar and team for government projects. BMC is part of something we've collaborated really well and worked together on. We're taking that reference because we have a very relevant attendees list here, which are from municipal corporations and smart cities. So hence taking that reference. Coming to InfoWhip, is has all the communication channels possible. But since we are talking about WhatsApp, which is the most popular and engaging, we would like to touch upon some statistics with regards to WhatsApp. InfoWhip primarily is a global leader in CPaaS services, the traditional communication channels, which is your email, SMS, etc. And we have widest range of coverage through our network providers. Can we move to next slide, please? But the interesting part is that 54% of InfoWhip's customer base, they use WhatsApp, because the coverage of WhatsApp has become so big that we started from like 200, 300, now it's close to 500. So there is a big base of WhatsApp, and InfoWhip is touching almost more than 50. I mean, within our customer base, more than 54%. Another interesting fact is, like, since we are also a SaaS player, 90% of our SaaS offerings use WhatsApp as a channel, because must have seen on websites there is a chatbot sitting on. There are multiple other channels, but what really engages attention and what really kind of is popular with people is WhatsApp, because as Tushar mentioned, that everybody wakes up to WhatsApp and they are so habituated that it's great to find everything here. Infowip, is really focused on extending this to government, organizations. That is why, when we started off in 2020, when WhatsApp opened up for government, we were able to cater to almost 8+ states, and we helped 8 states manage COVID WhatsApp chatbots, which was really great at that point because we were actually able to, impact lives, because we were able to provide hospital information, very important, relevant information about where the tests are being done, and any other notification. Basically, Infobip is a global organization with 70+ offices across the globe, present in all major cities in India. Can we move to the next slide? So again, adding to how Infobip supports government, because we are all aware that all the government organizations are looking to go digital. Now, how can we help? So the way we look at this is that we look at the primary touch points. Usually we see that whenever there is a government citizen facing organization, grievance redressal is one piece which really kind of affects the organization as well as the citizens. So that's where we feel that is the touch point, and the citizens really look forward to organization, and they look at different channels of getting in touch with the organization. And with WhatsApp's reach, we feel that it is the easiest way to reach out. We can also do something like we've seen organizations doing IVR redirect. Like if someone has to wait on IVR, they'd rather chat on WhatsApp by clicking a button on IVR, moving to WhatsApp, because on WhatsApp you need not wait for anyone to come to you, and you can just post your complaint there, click a picture, send it to the organization, and leave it to the organization to come back to you. And that's where if the organization is quick to react, we will see that all the waiting queues in front of the offices, all the waiting in IVR will really kind of vanish. There's one example I'd like to quote. During COVID, we had seen Delhi government, closing all their RTO offices. The CM of Delhi, Mr. Kejriwal, he said that no one will visit the RTO offices. They are shutting operations. We will only do it digitally. So there was an IVR channel, there was a website and WhatsApp channel. So if anyone had to get their licenses, or they wanted to know the status, apply for permit, everything happened through digital channels. And it was a great use case then, because it was actually stopping people from coming to offices, making long queues and getting their work done. So a great example shown by Delhi government. Can we move to the next slide, please? Here are some of the win stories I'd like to call out, but this is just the a tip of the iceberg. We feel that there is a lot more to explore, lot more use cases, which, like Tushar just mentioned, DigiLocker, I think it is a great use case. I think first of its kind on WhatsApp, and similarly we are also trying to impact and help organization in whichever way we can to reach out to citizens. So some examples are, now you can actually do your gas booking on WhatsApp. We work with IOCL and HPCL for doing the same. There is a very nice chatbot who just takes your command, lets you pay, and there is a cylinder at your place. Not only that, you can also get to know your subsidy, which if you have to pick up your call, would take like really long, not in hours, but still long to wait and click buttons here and there. So on just click of 1 or 2 buttons, you will get your subsidy details. You will know how many cylinders you're left with, and what are your refund details, nearest gas stations, to the extent that you can actually complete the whole sales cycle of booking a gas cylinder, pay for it, and the company will tell you are due for next cylinder. So that's the kind of engagement we are looking at. Apart from that, Tushar already touched upon water and electricity. Grievance redressal is something very useful, very traditional. People really look forward to a lot of they actually have a lot of complaints and they don't know how to reach out to the organization except for the traditional channel, which is IVR. So anything on WhatsApp is very welcoming. It's really convenient for users and citizens. Not only that, grievance is just the low-hanging fruit, I would say, because every organization, they want to help their customers, they want to help citizens make life convenient. but also essential stuff like, apply for a new connection, apply registrations, which really kind of make life easier. There are some use cases on BMC where, if you have to get your property tax sorted, you can just download the form from the WhatsApp chatbot and actually fill it up and send it back. So these are just some of the use cases we would like to state. Maybe the attendees today, the panelists here would have much, creative use cases, much more creative use cases. Like I said, tip of the iceberg. One of the highlights which Tushar mentioned is our project with BMC with 80 plus use cases, and it not only covers the citizens, it also covers tourists, because anyone who's landing in Mumbai can actually use that bot to explore Mumbai with gardens nearby. They can see what are the places to check out for, what to look out for. And we are also launching soon an informational chatbot on electronic vehicles with Delhi government. Like they want to actually encourage citizens to buy more of electronic vehicles, tell them more information, how can they save money, what kind of car one should buy, whether it is commercial or personal. So these are very interesting use cases, which we really wanted to tell out, because most of the organizations in their own way are trying to impact lives, trying to make it more easier and convenient for citizens. So just few examples here. Next slide, please. I think we've spoken enough a lot about BMC, but in the next slide, probably we can show some some maybe snapshots which can help you which can help you kind of actually see what is the kind of work that has gone behind. So the BMC chatbot with WhatsApp's interactive features is so convenient that you don't have to type a word. When we say 85 use cases, you are not typing a single word, you are just choosing options, whether it is language selection, whether it is the kind of service you'd like to avail, whether it is, you have to pay your property tax. Not a single, letter has to be typed. Everything is so interactive that you, on click of buttons, you just keep moving. And there is a help book also. At any point, you can go back to the main menu if you get lost in the chatbot, because once you are in the chatbot, you feel like exploring. It is already in 2 languages, but there are certain chatbots which are like pan-India. We've seen more than 11 languages also, within the same chatbot, just to make it, easier for citizens. And now the next level is that, we will see BMC actually, making it very interactive in the coming seasons. They want actually the potholes to be reported via WhatsApp, and there'll be like time commitment. So all that is in place. So they've really taken it very seriously, and we really see that lot of engagement and commitment from BMC side on this. Can we move to the next slide? Some more snapshots. Like I said, not even a click of a button is required. All the services are listed like this. One just needs to choose whether it is health, education, civic services, whether you have to, whether you at any point you have to move your profile from a citizen to a tourist to a business, because all the services here are mentioned as per your profiling, whether you are a business or a citizen. But the most popular, most traction that we get is on, online grievances, because people have a lot to complain. Now they know the right place to complain. Next slide, please. Okay, we reached the at the end of the presentation, but to conclude, what I would like to say is this is just the beginning, and a lot of use cases that we're discussing every day. It's a new use case, something new, some new ideas from different government organizations, some new stuff is yet to be done. Like Tushar said, DigiLocker launched yesterday, so we are looking forward to much more of such use cases from all of you here. I hope you liked the presentation. You found something useful from our presentation, and that's the takeaway we would really like you to have. Thank you so much for your time, and back to Krishna ji.
Thank you, Tushar, and thank you, Shraddha, both of you, for that interesting presentation on transforming citizen experience through digital technology. So that really gives us a glimpse of the power of modern day communication tools in running the municipal administration. Now we move on to the next part of this knowledge exchange series, the panel discussion. The topic of this panel discussion is elevating citizen experience using digital communication. Please join me in welcoming once again Dr. Sanjay Kolte here, the Chief Executive Officer of Pune Smart City Development Corporation Limited. A brief introduction about Dr. Sanjay Kolte. Dr. Kolte is an IAS officer of 2010 batch from Maharashtra cadre. He has extensive experience in urban affairs, dealing with infrastructure, transport, urban livelihood, and smart governance. He is an active contributor at national level policy thinking through participation as panelist in various knowledge exchange conferences and TV talk shows of leading think tanks and media houses. We are then joined by Dr. Dhimant Kumar Vyas, Regional Commissioner of Municipalities, Rajkot Zone in Gujarat. Dr. Dhimant Kumar Vyas is also an IAS officer of 2014 batch from Gujarat cadre. He has rich experience in the urban sector. He was responsible for implementation of Amrut schemes and other developmental schemes in 156 urban local bodies of Gujarat. In addition, Dr. Vyas has also worked on various smart city development projects in the state of Gujarat. Thereafter, we have Mr. Samir Unhale, State Joint Commissioner, Municipal Administration, Government of Maharashtra. Samir Unhale has vast experience of governance, including Chief Executive Officer of Thane Smart City Limited, and also he has worked as State Mission Director, Swachh Bharat Mission in Maharashtra. Under his leadership, the state consistently performed outstandingly at national level on achievements of the mission objective of Swachh Bharat in urban Maharashtra. We then have the Chief Executive Officer of Silvassa Smart City Limited, Charmi Parekh. Under the leadership of Charmi Parekh, the city of Silvassa, in line with Smart City Mission, has set its vision for developing Silvassa as a vibrant growth center that offers an optimal balance between industry prosperity and quality of life while promoting its rich tribal heritage. Charmi has been passionately driving the Smart City Mission in the city of Silvassa. A very warm welcome to all the government speakers here. From the industry side, we have once again Shraddha Thapa with us, Regional Head of Government and OTT Partnership in Infobip. Shraddha has more than 14 years of organizational experience in a messaging space. Currently, she is managing and assisting with new products for Infobip in the South Asian market, which include India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Nepal. Warm welcome to you, Shraddha Thapa, once again. This session will be moderated by Shraddha Thapa. Very shortly, we'll also be joined, let me inform all the viewers here, by the Commissioner and Director of Municipal Administration, Dr. N. Satyanarayan in the Government of Telangana. He will be joining us in due course of time. And with this, oh, he's already there. I can see him on the screen. A very warm welcome, sir, Dr. Satyanarayana. Dr. Satyanarayana is a 2009 batch IAS officer from Telangana cadre, and he's a passionate policymaker. He has over 20 years of experience in various spheres of governance, including municipal administration and smart cities. With this, I hand over the discussions to Shraddha Thapa. Topic: elevating citizen experience using digital communications. Over to you, Shraddha.
Thank you so much, Krishnaji. It's a pleasure and honor for me to be here and moderating this session. I'm very excited, and I think I'll just start off with lots of questions that I have, and a lot of discussions that I want to have with all of you, since we mentioned municipal corporation a couple of times. But the first question is to the lady, Ms. Parekh. So in your opinion, how can smart cities help in making citizens smart? And what are the initiatives by Silvassa Smart City in this direction? And we see a lot of smart things in smart cities, like smart cameras for emergency, smart poles, smart traffic management. And how does this all these initiatives impact citizen and kind of help citizen in interaction, government citizen interaction?
Hi, good afternoon to all, Shraddha as well as the panelists. So you have very rightly posed that question, that was what is so smart about these smart cities and how are we actually going to implement that. So I would start with some of the initiatives that we are taking at Silvassa Smart City and then move on. So to begin with, Silvassa Smart City itself has taken up this task that digital transformation would be one of the key priority areas while implementing our projects. As many of us would know that there is a 1,000 crore kitty for each and every smart city. And we are proud to say that we are utilizing a bunch of money for bringing in that digital transformation under the umbrella project of Integrated Command and Control Center. Like other smart city, we will also be implementing one, and we are already in the initial phase of identifying the technology, and we already have our knowledge partners with us, the agency onboarded. And basically under Silvassa Smart City mission, we will be having different smart areas, like not just smart parking, but along with that we will also be having smart roads. Now what we call a smart road, it is again civil infrastructure project, but when we say that we'll be having smart roads, that means that whenever any utility is to be laid, the road would not get dug again and again, like how we see that has been happening, and which has been the biggest grievance of all time of citizens. Along with that, we will be having smart poles, which would detect the vehicular speeds, which would also be monitoring the cameras that there will at all traffic light junctions as well. And we will also be having smart parkings. Smart parkings would mean that at each and every street and at major locations, we will be defining the number of vehicles that can actually get parked. And then based on our application, the citizen app, of course, we would be getting the real-time information, how much the parking space is occupied and how many more vehicles can actually get in. So people can also book their parking spots in advance. So that is just one example of it. um, so basically under the umbrella of Integrated Command and Control Center, our web portal as well as our citizen app would be getting this data from the roads, from other checkposts as well, and collating this data are obviously our traffic light system. Also the smart traffic light system would also be running on the same logic that, if there is going to be a lot of traffic at the rush hours, then the traffic signals would also adjust themselves automatically. And along with that, we will also be having CCTV cameras, the video viewing walls also at major junctions of the city, which would actually provide awareness to citizens on how the weather forecast is going to be, what are the new initiatives, or where they can uh, contact if in kind of some particular emergency. And Silvassa, it is kind of flood prone area also when it comes to heavy rains, so we can disseminate information about the future forecast of rains also, and how you and a representative from WhatsApp very rightly pointed out, reaching the citizens through these means has become very, very important and is the priority for Silvassa Smart City also. And I must congratulate you guys, WhatsApp as well as InfoBev, for rolling out such a huge project. I've always been appreciative of WhatsApp's UI UX design because it is so citizen friendly, user friendly, because the way you already have the platform, and using it to provide services to citizens is actually a different ball to game altogether. And you have done it wonderfully. I actually had an opportunity to see the BMC uh, platform, and I was actually very eager to bring that technology also in. So let us really hope that we can integrate it for Silvassa Smart City as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much for such kind words. And but I was wondering, with so many smart things, there'll be no grievance, So what do we do? You mentioned about smart projects, taking care of traffic, taking care of, cameras for, emergency services. Now, moving to Dr. Sanjay Kolte, because we're talking about now, we'll talk about Pune Smart City, because they are leveraging technology solutions to decongest and better manage traffic at busy junctions. So, as per you, how is this move impacting these, citizen experience and cities' overall livability, and if you could tell us. And one more thing, like we heard that you got an award for open data governance category. So if you could throw some light there too.
Yeah, sure. Well, for Pune Smart City, Adaptive Traffic Management System has been our priority project. And of course, it took a lot of time for it to get approved and to kick off. But ultimately, at the end of the last year, we were able to initiate that project. And soon the actual work will be visible on the roads. Pune being the auto hub and industrial hub, traffic and also IT hub also. Traffic is point of contention for all the citizens has been over the last say 15 to 20 years. And therefore all were eyeing for a certain solution for traffic, so that the solution which will add to the fast growth of the city, which is the second fastest growing city in the country. And I'm happy to mention is the 7th largest GDP wise in the country. So with this ATMS, we have the objective before our mind to regulate traffic on real-time demand on the location. So the as per the real-time situation on the roads, the ATMS or the system traffic regulatory system will need to adapt to the situation. It will also need to adapt to the emergencies, whatever happening on the roads or the corridors which we have chosen for this purpose. For this purpose, the historical data and the real-time data which we have already gathered through our traffic master plan. So that will be the basis for this. And advanced technology from US, from a Cubic Corporation, that they will be our OEM for this project. And by way of vehicle detectors and the traffic signal controllers, the traffic command and control center separately will be created with the traffic department of the police, and also secondary center will be integrated with our command and control center. And with the help of variable message displays for the citizens, real-time traffic information or status of congestion and routes will be available for the citizens. Provision of mobile apps will also be made. So overall operational efficiency of the traffic system of city is aimed at by way of this project. Journey time reliability is also intended to be achieved with this. Traffic signal efficiency is to be improved, and overall safety improvement on the roads. The possibility of accidents or these emergency situations will be lowered by way of this advanced system. Now, when we talk of congestion, again, other measures also need to be allied with not only ATMS. Other measures are also being implemented already by Pune Municipal Corporation, PMPML, and Smart City. The existing PMPML, which is our transport corporation, again, they have also been regulating their buses and the timings, and automation of bus, that is ITMS, Intelligent Traffic Management System, is already put in place since last 2 years. And the citizens are able to get real-time status of running of the buses and the timings of their arrivals. At 15 such depots have been created, where elaborate system for information and displays has been put in place. At the same time, to encourage the use of public transport, various initiatives are being taken by Pune Municipal Corporation and PMPML, and use of non-conventional modes of transport like creation of cycle track is also integrated with our infrastructure works. And I'm happy to mention that for more than 40 kilometers of cycle tracks have already been created by Smart City. And overall, with the help of Pune Municipal Corporation, the city has more than 125 kilometers of such dedicated cycle tracks already available for the service of the citizens. And again, with this, the transport should be based on mostly the renewable energy or the non-conventional sources of energy, and saving of energy is another objective which we have always kept in mind. And smart e-buses, which we have already 150 e-buses flying in the city in collab by convergence project of Smart City and PMPML. And PMPML is planning to upgrade this to 650 buses by the end of 2022. So again, that will be again climate friendly initiative of upgrading, and since EV ecosystem is being stressed everywhere by the government of India, state government also. So Pune city has been in the forefront in this sector also. So all these initiative or bundles of initiatives will be hopefully help in relieving the traffic congestion and other issues.
That's wonderful, sir. I look forward to visiting Pune, because I think if traffic is taken care of, there is no other city like Pune. It's really a lovely place. And these are like wonderful initiatives.
Yeah. Secondly, you mentioned about the open data policy or the open data award, which Pune City recently received. Pune City was recognized as the best performer in the Open Data Week, which was conducted under the guidance of MoHUA in January 2022. And we had conducted Open Data Day on 21st Jan, and then Open Data Week was also conducted. And Ideathon was launched on 21st January. With the help of Technology Institute, Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology, we had launched this Ideathon. And in the time which was allotted of 1 month, more than 1 month, 125 new ideas have been received from different technology students and from research community or other general citizens. Soon these ideas will be scrutinized. We have created a panel with the help of VIIT, and will be awarding the best top 3 ideas or the proposals from this Ideathon. Pune has a robust data policy, Pune Municipal Corporation, since 2018, and it has helped in creating the data ecosystem. The data created by various departments is being integrated together. This was again supported by MoHUA by way of their IUDX, India Urban Data Exchange. And in the Pune Urban Data Exchange, we are proud to have 850 data sets, which is, I think, the maximum being deployed by any smart city on this common platform. And this data is being shared with all the interested departments, stakeholders, research institutions, various departments, and also mobile app developers, startups, and other entities are also using this data. Because of this data policy, co-creation and open innovation is being encouraged right from the beginning. And therefore, certain startups have created use cases in collaboration with Smart City. I would mention My Safety Pin is an initiative which was developed by a startup with the help of data which was made available on Pune Urban Data Exchange. And this, by way of this My Safety Pin app, safety index of places in the city has been provided by the mobile app users, and the safest route to travel to any place in the city is also provided by this app, which is very useful for women and children to.
Yes, definitely.
And it is again GIS based, so the near and dear ones can even locate where their relative is at present, and if any emergency help is required, that is there. The locations of various police stations, hospitals, shelters, etc., is also provided by way of this app. In the last Akam Azad Amrit Mahotsav, we promoted this app and gave wide publicity for utility of this app. So these are some of the initiatives which again add to the safety and mobility in the city.
So these are really, great insights and a lot of work being done. But we really appreciate that you shared all of this with us here. I'd like to move, keeping time, since time is of essence, to Dr. Satyanarayana, because we have, we have some questions for you as well when it comes to digitization, and we know that like government of Telangana has implemented multiple digital solutions to provide online services for citizens. So we want to know, like, how is the citizen behavior to this change, especially in post-pandemic era? Because I'm sure when COVID was there, everybody kind of utilized it, but we want to know the behavior later on, and how are what steps are being taken to ensure, like, senior citizens, illiterate people, uneducated people, like people who really cannot access these online services, how can they leverage these services and benefit from them?
Thank you very much, Shredaji, and good evening to all the distinguished panelists and also Krishna Mistraji. The answer to the point is posed to me. Of course, it relates to especially the institutional arrangement and also legislative arrangements made in Telangana, especially after formation of Telangana. There are actually some structural changes that too, especially legislative changes, which are citizen-centric and also e-centric. Especially in the municipal system, there is a unified act brought in for both the municipal corporation and municipalities. We have 13 corporations and 129 municipalities in the state. Our urban population is so compared to other states, we constitutes as per 2011 census 42%. Now maybe 46-47% it increased. So in this, the new legislation made, the very clear specific sections are there. We are bound to give the adopt the all UAB's e-governance system and provide the citizen service from any time, anywhere basis in a better, speedy, accountable, and transparent administration. So accordingly, important 15 services are made online totally. Of 15, 8 services are instant. For example, in these services, self-assessment of property tax, instant. And vacant land tax, water tap connection is also instant. Trade license and renewal, instant. And the mutations, all mutations, instant. And registration takes place at SRO, Stamps and Registration Department. Immediately, they will be given mutation certificate. Not only that, there immediately, for example, new property has come to the registration. Assessment is also instant. They will get the information to their mobile, and their link will be provided. If they press it, they can have the assessment certificate. Of course, it will have the effect. If it is the building, 6 months, after 6 months, it would be there. If it is the, for example, the building permission is also instant, up to 600 square yards and G+2, that is all residential, which constitutes the up to 600 and residential building permissions, total permissions constitute 90%. So 90% of the building permissions are instant. And that also generates the property tax assessment. It will have impact after effect after 2 years. So that way, the services, 8 services are impact, in which, of course, birth registration, death registration, birth certificate issue, and death certificate is also instant. So like that, about 15 services are made online. These services through web service they will get, and also chatbot services we have provided, and call center also we have provided. Every municipality will have citizen service centers and Me Seva service centers. In addition to the app, mobile app, Citizen Buddy app also that to be provided. Even the payments also we have given multiple methods to give that one. So with regard to for example, as I was mentioning to you, the assessment of property tax, we started self-assessment from November 2019 onwards, after the enactment of the Act. So far in all municipalities, some 2 lakh properties automatically citizens they have made, and about 100 crores that demand is raised. With regard to birth certificates, that is the instant registration and issue of birth certificates. So all hospitals, about 4,000 hospitals are given login ID, and same day they should enter. Once they enter, the citizen will get, citizen means the parent of that child will get the SMS giving the details of the registration number, and the link also will be provided. If it is pressed, the digitized certificate of birth they will get. Similarly, death also from all hospitals, this kind of provision is made. In addition to that, natural deaths. So all burial grounds and crematoria, there is a mobile app based registration. So our person will be there, and immediately, instantly, that will be registered, and death certificate also they can download through the link that we have provided. And as I mentioned in the beginning, from 2021 June onwards, all registrations, they are not only registration, they will get a mutation certificate from the sub-registrar officer. In addition to that, I told you, I mentioned earlier that they will get the SMS and the link for taking the property tax assessment copy. Of course, it will have effect after 6 months. Similarly, as I was mentioned, in the town planning aspect, there is another act in accordance with the provisions of our new act, the Municipalities Act 2019. Government brought in, there is a TS BIPAS Act. It is called Telangana State Building Permission Approval on Self-Certification System. So up to 75 square yards, if it is a residential, it is an instant registration. No permission required. Registration itself is a permission. Up to 600 square yards, up to G+2, there is an instant approval. So approval will be given instantly, and all other permissions, like for example, it is non-residential, any plot size, and beyond G+2, all will be given in a single window, 21 days. If 21 days is crossed, deemed approval will be there. Similarly, for the layouts also in single window, 21 days time, it is provided. All these services, there is a penal clause also. If it is delayed for every day, there would be 1,000 rupees penalty on the officer concerned. That way, so far, this we implemented December 2020 onwards. So far, we have given 1,20,000 permissions instantaneously. That is one aspect. Second aspect is, in addition to that, all these properties, the assessment is also generated instantly, and link will be given to their mobile number. Accordingly, they can download, and it will have impact of if it is a building after 2 years, if it is a plot, the VLT will be generated. This kind of services, it is there in the our new act that is called Telangana Municipalities Act 2019, and specific provisions are there, specific sections are there, where the services shall be provided in a citizen-centric mode and e-centric mode. These are reforms brought in, especially in Telangana with the new act. Thank you very much.
Sir, these are just amazing. This is just amazing stuff to hear, because having instant approvals is really great, and this is what digitization is all about, making life convenient for citizens. But in the interest of time, I think we'd love to hear more from you. But whatever we've heard is really something we've not kind of seen not kind of seen around us, but definitely great to hear such services exist, and this is what digitization is all about. I'll thank you so much. I'll quickly move to Sameer Onale sir, and more questions on e-services, sir. As per you, how municipal corporations can make e-services inclusive and easily accessible to all? Because when it comes to local self-government, we want to know how is Maharashtra adopting digital solutions to improve service delivery, and how significant are like digital communication tools in this regard.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. And I think it's a lesson to learn for the municipal sector of India, how to adopt the new technology from, I think, the private sector. Because when we look at maybe the recreation or the transportation industry, the sector in India, they have amazingly adopted the technology at a very, very high pace and speed. And that's something I think the municipal sector needs to learn. The urban sector of Maharashtra, as we know, is around 410 cities and towns. It has 27 larger urban area or the municipal corporations and around 383 smaller towns of Group B and C. So this urban system has around more than 60 million, or about 6 crore is the urban population of Maharashtra. In that way, it is a largest urban people. And with the higher literacy of education, higher education, and greater awareness, the engagement of citizens with the municipal bodies and other urban institutions is quite strong and quite frequent. Therefore, quantitatively as well as qualitatively, the interactions of citizens and the theme of this talk, which is citizens' experience with the municipal and urban bodies, I think is a very important part. The experience of citizens is what defines the cities for the individuals. And I think here comes the ability of the technology to connect with the citizens both ways, by multiple ways, and thereby give the citizens a greater sense of control, if one might add, and also a greater sense of connect with their municipal institutions and the urban local bodies. I think last 10 years or so, with the increase of social media platform, like the major platform that we have, the new dimension in citizen engagement has been, shall we say, invented or discovered. And the municipal bodies and various other government institutions will have to learn to engage with the citizens by their way, by their timing, by their format, and not depend upon the typical colonial and feudal way of working, in which a citizen will apply to the government and then the feudal lord will decide whether to approve the benefit or not. I think we need to come out of that colonial feudal mindset a bit fast. And as governance is a service industry, the service given to the citizens is also paramount importance. I think the use of technology is something of great fascination to us. There have been certain lessons done by the various states, I'm sure. And I think this is also a great opportunity to learn from different states as to what is being done in the municipal sector and the relevant sectors. And I'm sure the central ministries as well as the think tanks like NIUS will take an efforts to consolidate the best practices that are being done for citizen engagement. Secondly, as was mentioned by Parekh Madam regarding the use of city apps and the command control centers to effectively engage with citizens, I think is also an important milestone into the way the municipalities are interacting with the cities. I think with the specific focus here, we always had a question, that the customer is the king, but who is the citizen? Is he a complainant? Is he a voter? Or is he only a taxpayer? And I think this more deeper thoughts will propel all of us to use the new technologies to the hilt. And I think this ability to connect on the citizens on their terms and conditions, at their location, at their convenience, and at their will is something where the municipal bodies will have also to learn, because all said and done, still we are in the process of evolution and the command, control, direction, supervision mindset, which sometimes exists in government setup. To some extent, I might say it might be inevitable, but the larger part of citizen engagement now needs to move away from this control supervision domain into citizen experiences and also something like citizens' delight. I think the one important part here was the multiple channels of communication to citizens need to be explored more importantly. I think it has a great potential of achieving convergence, which is an important element in government functioning, that every individual deserves numerous missions, numerous benefits from multiple government agencies. And with the data integration at backend, I think sure the convergence potential of various missions to the beneficiaries is definitely, it will increase. I think there's a lot of new technologies are coming, and I think the challenge for us is to adopt those technologies following the due process of law and the approval of competent authorities, as is the case in government. And I think the technical manpower is often an issue, because still in older days, the public works department of the PWD, I think, came up very strongly, and therefore the government had their own independent machinery to work on. I think IT is still an evolving field. I think from Maharashtra, we have our own cadre of municipal engineers, municipal computer engineers, and also municipal other engineers. I think this could be a good example to be replicated in other states as well, because unless you have a technical manpower, the ability of the institution to achieve execution challenges in any state and city will be very important. So I think for enhanced citizen experiences to the citizens staying in urban India, all the avenues available for communicating with the citizens is extremely important. And I think the new digital technologies, it might be social media platforms, it might be new things like predictive analysis of behavior, of convergence of services to citizens. I think it's a very exciting idea. The challenge actually will be to executing it on field in the various measures that we sometimes work. So I think good best practices which have been made into digital connect with the citizens is very important. And I think the challenge is not one city doing one good thing once a while. The challenge is now 4,500 cities executing best practice. It may be a matter of days or even hours if time would require. Because when COVID came, we realized we had to execute roll off certain strategies with the speed of not exactly you may call it speed of light. And that now is the challenge. Now that is the real challenge. Not one good city, one thing done once a while in a city. That's okay. That's good enough. But that is okay, but that's not good enough. And this is, I think, a challenge for which, again, the digital backbone and the various abilities to connect the 4,000 or whatever odd cities we have into idea of the technology and people and manpower and citizen is going to be very interesting field. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I am sure more of these kind of interactions will help us also to understand how different states and different cities are trying to engage themselves with the ideas of citizen experience using digital technology. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and a lot of likes for you, because I love the way you said that governance is a service industry, and accordingly services have to be provided the way citizens want. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Sir, I think I was coming to you only, Dimantya sir, because we know for a fact that there is heavy adoption on your side, and we just want to know, in your opinion, how digital communication tools like WhatsApp and ICT have transformed the governance in Rajkot. You have to share some best practices examples with us, and also what steps are you taking for effective capacity building of the employees to ensure proper implementation of digital solutions?
Yes, thank you. In fact, as you are aware, Gujarat has created 6 zones of the urban areas of Gujarat, and each zone has a dedicated commissioner who looks after the various issues of the urban development in those areas. Especially if we talk of the Rajkot zone, and firstly to answer your question about the use of technologies, especially the social media, WhatsApp and other things. This has been a great success in Rajkot. Maybe in February 2022, Rajkot, I will talk about the Rajkot Municipal Corporation first of all, where Rajkot Municipal Corporation went on WhatsApp, and more than 175 services comprising 25 different departments of the corporation were put on the social media platform of WhatsApp. For the tax bills, you see, let me give you some figures. 1,88,000 tax bills were passed on to the people through WhatsApp platform. And we were very happy when we realized that 113 crores were remitted as tax for the bills which were passed on the WhatsApp platform. And because people paid on the e-platform, they earned a rebate of 11.4 crores. That was the incentive which was given by the corporation. So using WhatsApp as a tool was very successful in Rajkot. Similarly, not talking only about Rajkot, talking about 30 municipal bodies which are in the Rajkot zone, all these 30 municipal bodies also went on the e-Nagar platform, which has been devised in Gujarat. And all these municipalities have 10 minimum basic services, at least 10 services on the e-platform. Now, these services includes online building plan permissions, management of the various estates of the municipalities, drainage connection, water connection, marriage registration, birth registration, property tax, and complaints and grievance redressals. All these things are made on the e-Nagar platform, which is again used on the digital platform. Basically, we started this as part of the citizen engagement measures, so as to make citizens feel that their views are also articulated in our entire mechanism. And thus we are able to bring down the gap of the credibility between the citizens and the providers. So we were able to reduce that gap. In fact, we started the citywide management systems with a single identity management. So a single signing will allow anybody to access all the platforms wherever they are required. And we started collective intelligence of the citizens to be tapped along when the service providing was planned out. So using the design thinking principle, creating the uniform environment for all the citizens of the given urban city, we started in a way that we wanted to make them differentiate between their experience and the service which was provided to them. So in that way, we started with these municipal bodies. Initially, we found, as very rightly it was pointed out in one of the earlier discussions, we asked our citizens to pass on their grievances with a photo and a short write-up of 1 or 2 lines on WhatsApp. All these grievances was taken up on the WhatsApp groups, on the dedicated WhatsApp numbers. And then we tried to take the necessary actions and again convey it back to the person who had conveyed it on the WhatsApp number. From the number on which he had conveyed, the same thing was referred back to him after the actions were taken. Now, initially, this also gave us a very positive feedback from the people. But still, one thing what we realized was that people were ready to pass it on WhatsApp platform, but on the other digital platforms, they were not yet so user-friendly, or they were not yet so, they were a little bit reluctant to pass it on emails. Earlier, they used to mail, but that was in a lesser quantity. And with the increasing of the WhatsApp platform, they were able to send more details or grievance rather than what they were sending by the mails comparatively. Now, I think maybe one of the reasons was because in the email, they had to type something and they had to upload something. Whereas in WhatsApp, it's easy. They just click it, write one line and send it. So this made very easy for them. on the same time, to tell you our experience from the municipal side also, that once the maybe a pothole was repaired, or maybe some say the area was dirty, having some filthy ground over there, when it was cleared and it was cleaned, taking up a photograph and answering back to that person who had complained was also easier for the part of the staff of the municipal body also. So in that way, ULBs have reacted very fast to the WhatsApp platform for grievance redressal. Not only that, as I told you, for the property tax and other things also. Similarly, we have also started the services, as I told you, the other 10 services on the eNagar platform, wherein, as it was being said by one of the speakers, that we also now have online passing procedure for the building plans, wherein a person can put up the plans online and he himself can generate through the software whether his plan is okay or not, and if at all, if there are any queries, he will answer the queries, rectify it, and again reload it, and he will get the building permission. So that also has been started in our municipalities. So on on the whole, I think that slowly this citizen engagement measures have brought results, and this was reflected when we are having the citizens meetings. You know, in our municipalities, we have a principle of having meetings with the citizens in different wards every quarter, means every 3 months. We have meetings with the citizens every quarterly. The ward people are met together, and the ward councillor meets with them. Very recently, our chief minister came down to Rajkot, sat with the entire municipal corporation staff and with all the elected corporators, and the feedback which we got and which he got from the corporators and from the municipal staff was excellent, and 75% of the credit goes to this social media platform. 25%, I think we must also appreciate the initiatives of the staff who have carried out all these activities with us. So in that way, I think the citizen experience in the urban areas is changing. It's on a pose of area where we are trying to bring in more facilities to them, more facilities at their fingertips, and at the same time, they have more freedom to express their discontent also. They have more freedom to show their appreciation or disappreciation of the activities of the municipal bodies and the municipal staff. So in a way, more transparent systems are being put in over the area. One more thing, what we have done is we have started involving the citizens in the decision making. See, earlier what we used to do is that the engineers or the planners or the consultants used to prepare the plans, say maybe for a water supply project or a drainage project or a transportation project. The consultants and the engineers used to prepare that plans. What we have now started is that within our area, within the municipal area, whenever the project is to be taken up, along with the consultant, along with the municipal engineers, the people of those areas are called for a meeting on a day, just like in the environment case, no, we have public hearing. So that sort of public hearing is done for that project of the municipal project. Not only the municipal councillors, the leading people and the literate people or even illiterate people, but who have something to contribute, they all are called during this meeting. We have their suggestions. We include their suggestions for rectifying the project, and then we finalize the project. Now, this has given us more satisfaction of, say, a sort of customer satisfaction from the side of the citizens, because they know that they had suggested this thing and that has been taken up. This is how we have started moving up the things in the local municipal bodies over here in Gujarat.
That's amazing, sir. Actually, the numbers that you've, we should do a separate call to understand more on numbers and the adoption, in Rajkot. That's, these are like great learnings and, amazing numbers to back it up with. So really look forward to, meeting you also probably to get to know more. But since...
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Since we are short of time, I want to conclude this panel discussion with like one word answer. Since Unhale sir said that government is, governance is a service industry, government wants to provide services, but at the time when citizens wanted, at the convenience of the citizen. So I would like to go through all of you. One word. What is the next channel? What is the next one communication channel that you would like to adopt for providing government services? Maybe I'll start with the lady again in the same order.
For Silvassa Smart City, it would be the Citizen app.
Maybe Dr. Sanjay Kolte, we want to hear the next adoption.
Yes, I also agree with her. Mobile app is the most popular and user-friendly medium. And soon we'll be going ahead with the DG engagement program, where an application will be made available to citizens or all the G2C and B2C and B2B services will be integrated together.
Great. Dr. Satyanarayan? If he's not there, maybe, maybe we can move to Sameer Unhale sir or maybe Dhiman sir.
Maybe I think for us, it is My Citizen app.
Great. Lovely to hear, great insights, numbers, perspective, and, everything smart about the smart cities. So great to, moderate this session. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll hand it over to Krishna ji again.
It's 5 o'clock.
Thank you, Shraddha, for great moderation. It was a pleasure hearing all the esteemed panelists here from different state governments, smart cities, municipal administration, and municipalities. It was a nice deliberation. We still have got around 2-3 minutes with us before we actually conclude. I can see some audience questions here on the screen. If time allows, and if you permit me, Shraddha, can we take 1 or 2 questions from the audience? Because we have this program was being broadcast live on social media platforms and on Zoom as well. Can we take 1 or 2 questions?
Sure. I'll just go through the questions. How can government leverage communication tools such as WhatsApp to enhance citizen engagement and experience? So, like we heard from the Rajkot Municipal Corporation, there is great engagement. WhatsApp APIs are open for government also, so you can contact us. Any one of our team members for taking in WhatsApp business API. Digital governance is about relations. What should be the proactive communication strategy in government sector? So there are different kind of strategies, like we heard from our panel today. It can be the citizen centric app. It can be WhatsApp. It can be like taking advices from people. So there are different when it comes to communication channel, I think there is WhatsApp, there is mobile app, like we heard from our panel. So citizen centric apps. How technology driven framework can help public sector enhance grievance redressal mechanism? I think most of our conversation was around this. I hope the conversation kind of the panel discussion helped you understand this, because what we're trying to figure out is how WhatsApp can help in grievance redressal, how citizens are using e-services, how there are instant approvals. So there are a lot of mechanism, technology driven, how government is trying to help citizens with grievance redressal.
Shraddha, I think we shall also bring in Dr. Sanjay Kolte, Dr. Dhiman, and Mr. Unhale.
Sure.
If we can have their perspective on these questions. For example, there is a question from an audience.
How technology-driven framework can help public sector?
I would like to add one thing. whatever we have observed is that while bringing or utilizing technology for citizen-centric services, geospatial technology carries a lot of importance. And if it is included in the municipal services, like we have included it in the building permission or work management system, or the land use pattern being used for the preparation of development plan of the city. So these things are able to bring transparency and benefit to the real-time benefits to the citizens. It reduces the grievances and disputes. So geospatial technology carries a lot of potential in providing services, citizen-centric services from the public sector side.
I would also like to add to the question of Ms. Shivani saying in today's digital era, how can the government sector make technology more adaptable, valuable, and scalable? So I think it's a very good question. And, as it was rightly pointed out earlier, that, government has to be visible as somebody or someone or some institution who is adapting to the technology, not living in that feudal colonial era. And that's why having these conversations with the knowledge partners, with the citizens, are becoming more and more important to actually showcase that government is also moving ahead with the technology, not lagging behind. At the same time, making it more scalable, because when we talk about technology, there is also a huge divide which is called as digital divide, and technology does not reach each and every quarter of the society that we would actually intend to. So even when I talk about implementing a citizen centric app, but when it is not user friendly for a person who does not know how to operate smartphones or how to write in English, let's say, there comes the huge barrier, right? So we as government bodies also have to take into consideration what the citizen demands are, and then only we can make it scalable. And that's why, again, having that citizen centric feedback mechanism is becoming more and more important. Going to the valuable part of the engagement of government with the citizens, I would definitely like to add that unless and until the government services are providing value to their lives and making it more and more user friendly, we have to see our citizens as clients obtaining the government services, not as somebody who is in need of the services and they just have to rely on the government, right? So making it valuable by making it user friendly would be my take on it.
Perhaps what I would add to that, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. Yeah. So basically what happens is that the regular tracking of the service level benchmark is something which has to be reported and monitored on the service levels. And if that pressure is continuously there by the demand side, then only the supply side would always be vigilant and alert to provide and perform in a more better way. So I think this digital platforms allows the citizens to create a pressure on the service level benchmarks that are promised by the municipal bodies. So once this pressure is created by the demand side, that is the user side, or that is the citizen side, then definitely the supply side, or in our case, the municipal staff or the municipal body side, would definitely try to improve their performance and would definitely try to give up more better of them. So that is why I think these platforms definitely would help us. These platforms with technical framework would help people and at large to get more better results for the citizens.
Fine. Any more question you would like to take, Shraddha? One last question. This is a question from one audience, Vaishali. Technology should evolve in sync with citizens' changing demands and needs. How can the government ensure it in its processes and service delivery? If Mr. Unhale, if you are there, if you can take this question, Mr. Samir Unhale or Dr. N. Satyanarayan.
Sir, namaste. I think there's some issue with my probably this thing. So I think the only challenge I was mentioning earlier was to ensure that the only challenge I think was to ensure that the this is executed on ground with the help of the various municipalities. I think that is a bigger challenge, and the due process of law as is normally followed. I think some national agencies like NIUA or any other could help us trying to build up the model RFPs and the tender documents and those things. I think it will be easier to implement in various municipalities. So thank you about that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think we have just overshot the time limit of this webinar. Lot of thanks to all the speakers here from all the municipalities. It has been a great session, power-packed session, power-packed presentation initially from the industry partners, Infobip and WhatsApp from Tushar Bhalla and Shraddha Thapa. Thereafter, we were joined by esteemed speakers from different municipalities and smart cities from different states. Our Elets Technomedia's thanks and gratitude to all the speakers here. Urban development and urban administration is an ever-evolving space, and it is always creating more and more demand and more and more stress on the civic administration because of the population pressure and because of the pressure of the rapid development also. As I mentioned in my initial remark, in a rapidly developing country like India, the need of the hour is to have a structured and planned development of our urban habitats. And this structured and planned development of urban habitats and ensuring a time-bound citizen services to the urban citizens is not going to be possible without leveraging the appropriate technology in today's context. With this, we come to an end of this knowledge session on urban development, transforming citizen services in urban utilities. Before I actually conclude, I would request my team at the back end for the customary speaker certificates to be presented to all the speakers here. The first token of gratitude for Dr. N. Satyanarayan. Despite his busy schedule, Dr. N. Satyanarayan was finally able to make it to this conference today. Thank you so much, Dr. N. Satyanarayan, Commissioner and Director of Municipal Administration, Government of Telangana. We had our next speaker from the state of Maharashtra, Chief Executive Officer, Pune Smart City Development Corporation Limited, Dr. Sanjay Kolte. Very, very thanks, Dr. Sanjay Kolte, for your time for this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Kolte. The next token of gratitude for Dr. Dhimant Kumar, Regional Commissioner of Municipalities, Rajkot Zone, Government of Gujarat. Thank you so much, Dr. Dhimant Kumar Vyas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samir Unhale, State Joint Commissioner, Municipal Administration, Maharashtra Government, for taking out time, sharing your rich insight and wisdom on this topic. And from the Silvassa Smart City, we had Charmi Parikh, Chief Executive Officer. Thank you, Charmi ji, for taking out time and sharing your wisdom, insight, and experience of Smart City Administration in Silvassa. From the industry, we had Tushar Bhalla, Strategic Partner Manager, WhatsApp India. Thank you, Tushar, for your PowerPoint presentation. And finally, a great moderation by Shraddha Thapa, Regional Head, Government and OTT Partnership, Infobip. Thank you, Shraddha, for moderating the panel discussion. With this, we come to a conclusion of today's conference, virtual conference on urban development, transforming citizen experience. And we look forward to hosting all the speakers here in our future conferences. Thank you and best wishes.